Hello. We're back. Okay, we're going to continue with Kitty Kelly. Hold on, I have a text message from my dad. Okay, so where were we? Was it yesterday? It's all a blur. Yeah. Well, first of all, we always do a little catch up. Okay, so let's go. Let's start with that. It is getting so dark here. We're going to have a storm. I guess it would be getting dark anyway this time of day, but we're supposed to be getting 20 centimeters or more. I'm not cut out for this. But anyway, I feel like there were a lot of things I was going to tell you. The books are at the library, ready to be picked up, but I forgot to go there today. So there's a biography of Louis Mountbatten, which I'm going to peek through. I'm really not interested in his military career. I know. I'm interested in his personal life. He disgusts me, but I still want to read about it. The one by his daughter, Pamela, is ready to be picked up. I also picked up the authorized biography of Tupac because there's a new biography out, but I'm someone who loves to read two things because I'd like to see what one has to say and what the other one adds to it, or because there's a new one out and I'm just a poor student and it's the holidays and Timothy, stop. Timmy, he knows his name because every time I say Timmy, one ear is like, Timmy, psst, ah. Hold on. For those of you who haven't seen Timmy, one moment. Yeah, so let me think. There's other things. Well, I've had a really nice day. Today's my man's birthday, so we went out this morning. He had some errands to run, so I just went along with him. And I gave him a present, a balaclava. Is that what it's called? It's like where it's just your eyes. It's like your whole head's covered with just your eyes poking out. And I said, okay, don't go into like any banks. I'm like, take it off whenever you go inside. He's not a white man. I'm like, the last thing I need. Okay. Timothy. Psst, psst, psst. He is rotten to the core. What else? Oh, I was planning Christmas dinner today. So I forget the name of the holiday. I got to do better. But anyway, so my boyfriend is Sikh. And during the Christmas holiday, there's a Sikh holiday or festival that goes on around the same time. And okay, so normally Sikhs are vegetarian. He's not. Like, a lot of times when they move to other countries, sometimes they don't. Okay, he is religious, but he doesn't like follow everything, so he does eat chicken and he eats fish. He doesn't like to eat beef very much. He will not touch pork, period. But when it's holidays, he will not eat meat. So one of my favorite things about being in an intercultural relationship is like finding ways to meet each other halfway. So it's like, when it comes to Christmas dinner, meat is like a huge thing, a turkey or, some kind of meat. So we had to sit down and talk and find ways to make something delicious that feels festive and Christmassy to me, but that isn't going to put him in this weird position of having to eat meat or like smell meat in the house because, if there's a turkey cooking, he's going to be salivating. So I'm going to make like a vegetable Wellington. I'm going to I was gonna say spice it up. It's like herbal, not really spice. I'm gonna make a really nice mushroom gravy to go with it, and then I'm gonna do like some sort of like a Waldorf salad with a frisee lettuce and probably like a mixture. But I really wanted the fris. It just looks so festive, I'm gonna do like some pomegranate seeds and probably do some sort of like citrus vinaigrette, and then maybe I'll do some Yorkshire puds, or I'll do. I don't know. I probably won't do rolls because it'll be so heavy. And there's already like a pastry around the Wellington. So, and we'll have some sparkling cider. And then I'll have to think of a dessert. One of my kids, when they were little, they couldn't say their R's. And, well, lots of kids. But, didn't matter if it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they'd say, and now, what about dessert? And so now it's like a saying in the family whenever the meal's over. What about dessert? All right, I don't even remember what I was initially. Oh, yes, I was going to show you a picture of Timothy. Timothy, who is wreaking havoc as we speak. And he's so lucky that he's cute. Because goodness knows, if he was ugly, he'd, let's see if this will pick it up. Oh, can you see him? That's my guy. That's my little boy. Can you see him? Aw, look how cute he is. Can you hear me? He stopped what he was doing and he's just being so still. He's like, hi, baby. Are you mad? Can you hear that? He just thumped really hard, and he might be ticked off about something. They're very temperamental. Let me see if I can find another one. Here's a good one. I don't know if you'll be able to see. So this is him laying on the sofa. It's hard to see. I know the light is bad, but you can't really tell, but he's got his little paws crisscross applesauce. It's so cute. Okay, enough. I'm just yapping. We're 7 minutes in. Good grief. So yes, it was my man's birthday. I have to make him some cookies. I'm trying to think of a dessert for Christmas. I need to make oh goodness. What is that? My brain, I swear, it just stops. It doesn't work. What is it? I keep wanting to say sweetmeats, and that's not at all. Timmy, what? What is the matter? What? He's angry, and I don't know why. He keeps on thumping. I didn't do anything. Oh, what is it? It's got like all the raisins. 1 second.
Hey, babe.
Hey, sorry. What's that pie we make every year?
Hey, babe.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's that pie we make every year, or like the tarts? My brain won't remember. It has the
Tart. The only song
that has like the raisins and the mix,
mincemeat.
mincemeat. I was thinking I'm like, sweet meats? What's it called?
No,
Okay.
mincemeat.
Yeah, mincemeat. Okay. I was trying to make my list in my head of what I needed to get for Christmas. So
Oh, okay.
Timmy is really mad. He won't stop thumping.
Does he have food and water?
He does.
Does he need to go potty?
The potty door's open. He's ticked off, but I don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, I'll have to see.
We'll have to give him a treat.
Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go read. He's doing it again.
Okay, babe.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, it's called mincemeat. Okay, we gotta read this. I don't know what's wrong with my rabbit. He's really having a mentee bee. All right, so we heard that he's just a common little Scotsman. Oh, yes. We heard that Margaret did not like Queen Mary at all and made this distinction like, she's not royal. We are. Okay. I just find that. I mean, how do you. Wasn't she, though? She was related to Queen Victoria. Her mother was a cousin. I mean, all the same to me, I guess. I just thought it was like a very snobby distinction to make. Okay, so that's the last line. We were royals. She was not. As royalty, Margaret did not carry cash, nor did she pay her own bills. She didn't even own a credit card. Her finances were handled by the head of her household, who managed her allotment from her civil list. She complained constantly about her paltry allowance and was not above bartering. One Christmas, someone gave her a huge gift basket with all sorts of bubble baths, perfumes, oils, and lotions that took 2 people to carry, said William C. Brewer, a former associate of Crabtree and Evelyn. Timmy, come here, baby. Come here. Timmy, come here, baby. Come here. He's really upset. Crabtree and Evelyn. The fragrance company. The princess and her lady-in-waiting came into our shop in Kensington the day after Christmas with the mammoth gift. I knew it was Princess Margaret from the Spring-a-Later platform shoes. She had come to return the gift, and she refused to accept a store credit. I want cash, she said. What could we do? Although it's against our store policy, we gave her... Hold on. I'm so sorry. I gotta go check on him. He was hiding under a stool. Are you okay? I think he's somehow scared himself. My poor baby. You had to what? You okay? Poor thing. All right, we'll have to take a break for a second. We have to soothe Timmy. He's our mascot. Right? You poor little guy. You good babies? You okay? You alright? He's purring, so that's good. So when rabbits purr, they grind their teeth together. They're like, mm-mm-mm. You're a nice guy. Yeah. You okay now? He might go to sleep. They sleep with their eyes open a lot of the time. He loves kisses. Sometimes when you kiss him, are you ready to get down? You ready to get down? If you kiss him on the head, he'll like lift up his head again. And then he'll lift up his head again. You ready to get down? Yeah. Poor baby. You alright? Okay. Oh, there you go. All right. Well, hopefully he's all right now. Yeah? You okay? You all right? You're a good boy. You a good boy? Fingers crossed. All right, where were we? She says, I will. Oh, those little bunny paws. I have such sensitive skin. Honestly, if I touch my skin, it's like inflamed. Okay, I want cash. They gave her cash refund because she's Princess Margaret. The lady in waiting took the money, and the two of them walked out. She probably loved having cash. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't carry cash, it's probably a thrill to finally get some in your paws. Okay, Margaret expects to be accommodated because she is royalty. Her mother and her sisters have the same expectations. Did I say sisters? I meant sister. I don't know what I said. When they are invited to be house guests, or more accurately, when their ladies in waiting call their friends who have large country estates and inquire about the possibility of a royal visit, advanced people arrive to make sure that the weekend premises will be suitable, not just for the security, but for the royal comfort. Hi, buddy. Hi, baby. Hi. When the Queen Mother visited British barrister Michael Pratt, he told friends that her lady-in-waiting arrived beforehand with a list of instructions: gin and tonic in the bedroom, no noisy children, and Bronco paper fanned out in the bathroom. Bronco paper is a heavy, rough brown paper that is abrasive and good for cleaning motor oil off linoleum. Recalled one of Pratt's friends. Most people want only the softest toilet tissue for their bums, but that old horse insists on having sandpaper wipes from World War II. When the country was on rations, they don't even sell Bronco paper anymore. You have to special order it on Walton Street, or else fake it by sloshing tea on white fax paper. Oh my word. Princess Margaret's friends, who describe her as the house guest from hell, also receive a list of instructions. Tune the piano, get lots of Ella Fitzgerald records, import some... Oh, hold on. I think he wants a little bit of kibbles. So this is so off topic, but I have all these little diyas from when we celebrate Diwali, and so normally, like, you could do it, I've done it both ways. You can have like oil in here and a wick. I just put tea lights in sometimes because knowing me, I'm gonna knock over the whole thing and fire. Anyway, Timmy is obsessed with these. He loves them. And so I removed all the tea lights from them, and I have like a big silver tray that's full of these on my coffee table. And I put his little kibbles in all of them inside the tray. And he likes to go from like one to one, like eats his tibble. We call it his tibbles. Timmy's tibbles. And he goes from dia to dia eating his tibbles, and it's so cute. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so distractible today. You ever just get in a nice mood and then you're just like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I get a little hyper and I get a little happy, and then I just struggle to focus. Okay. Or else fake it by sloshing tea on white fax paper. That struck me so funny. When you hear that sound in all of my videos, that's because Timmy is in his little silver tray messing with the diyas because they've got kibbles, and he's like knocking them over, and he's having the time of his life. Okay, Princess Margaret's friends, who describe her as the house guest from hell, also receive a list of instructions. Tune the piano, get lots of Ella Fitzgerald records, import some young men who like to sing and dance, and have a recording of Scotland the Brave by the Royal Highland Fusiliers. Most important, provide potables. Sorry, my brain was looking at it. I'm like, potables? Potables. Gordon's 80-proof gin and tonic for mid-morning through mid-afternoon, and from mid-afternoon until midnight, famous grouse Scotch whiskey. You must make sure she has jammy Dodgers for tea, said one of Margaret's hostesses. Jammy Dodgers. Uh, sorry, I'm getting text messages. I thought we all knew what jammy dodgers were, but because in Canada we have a lot of like British, you know, things. Jammy dodgers are little circular sandwiches cut out of white bread with raspberry jam in the middle. The raspberry preserve must be seedless because Her Royal Highness does not like seeds stuck in her teeth. So you have to purchase imported preserves. Sounds like my mother, because my mother she only buys seedless raspberry jam. Did they say? Yeah, raspberry. Okay. Royal weekends are such a nightmare. The worst pressure is if you have the Queen to stay. Then you must lock your cats in the stable because Her Majesty abhors cats. You have to have barley water for her because that's what she uses to cleanse her face. Really? Barley water? What exactly is barley water? Is it like just water that's been, like, barley has been soaked in? I'm like, I want to use it on my face. You have to send your children away because the royals can't stand children. Excuse me, I'm not sending my children away just because you don't like children. My son hates it when the royal family descends on us, especially Margaret. He says she's like the front of Notre Dame, all gargoyles, and should have water spouting out of her mouth. All members of the royal family believe the prestige they bring to their host justifies the inconvenience and expense of their visit. It's an arrogant assumption, but indisputably valid because I don't know anyone within the aristocracy who has ever turned them down, myself included. Lord Douglas of Needpeth threatens to bar Margaret's next visit, but so far he hasn't. The prospect of a royal visit can turn a household upside down. Every time that call came from the King's, George VI, equerry, or the Queen's, Elizabeth, lady-in-waiting, my mother would go into a faint, recalled the daughter of a Is it Marquess or Marquess? Let's find out. Marquess? Me. Marquess. Really? Is that the way we'd pronounce it in Canada? Marquess? Not Marquette? Oh. Marquess. Recalled the daughter of a Marquess. Okay. Oh God, they want to come for tea. You couldn't say no, you just couldn't. So we'd rush around for biscuits, unearth the Earl Grey, and find some clotted cream. Then we got cleaned and scraped the horse muck off our shoes. We dreaded their arrival, but we were ready. If in they'd pounce. The first visit I remember was King George VI, Queen Mary, the Countess of Athlone, Queen Mary's sister-in-law, Princess Elizabeth, Prince Philip, and Princess Margaret. I was 8, my brother was 3. We stood to attention when they arrived. I had to curtsy to the floor, and he had to bow with his neck, bringing his chin to his chest. Over the years, Princess Margaret came to rely on the largesse of rich friends like the Aga Khan and Imelda Marcos to provide villas and yachts for her pleasure. She especially enjoyed visiting Italy and regularly invited herself to stay with Harold Acton at La Pietra in Florence and Gore Vidal in Ravello. She also expected to be paid attention to... she also... Look at me. Like, honestly, I just make up words. I make up sentences. I just imagine where the sentence is going, and then I don't even read. I just keep going. She also expected to be paid to attend certain overseas charity events and demanded first-class accommodations, planes, hotels, limousines, hairdressers, in addition to a personal appearance fee. Well, doesn't that sound like one Ms. Sarah Ferguson? It's all been done before. But, I mean, the difference is that people could go on tirades about Fergie because she's just the wife of Andrew. But they can't do that about Margaret. But in this regard, Fergie's not doing anything new that hasn't already been done before. She acted as though this were her due. The royal presence deserved royal compensation, especially from rich Americans. I remember when one of her best friends arranged for Princess Margaret and Lord Snowdon to be guests of honor at a charity ball in New York, recalled writer Stephen Birmingham. The Snowdons charged us $30,000 as their personal appearance fee, but we couldn't pay them because we couldn't raise enough money from ticket sales. They left New York feeling exploited, and we felt robbed. Worse, the princess never spoke to her friend again, all because of a lousy $30,000 hairs. Wild. Guys, my nose is so runny. I'm so sorry. Even her friends described her as temperamental. Margaret is operatic, said one man. I've known her all my life. I've escorted her places, been entertained in her home at Kensington Palace, even stayed with her at Mystique. Yet I'm utterly dispensable. I'm there only for her entertainment and amusement, when she needs to be entertained and amused. Beyond that, I'm nothing to her. I'm not otherwise acknowledged. I stayed up one night drinking and singing songs with her. God, how she loves to sing. Fancies herself better than Barbra Streisand. Then 2 nights later, I saw her at the palace for a big party. She walked in and strode past me as if I were a marble column. Not so much as a glance, nod, or a smile. That's royalty. It's beyond arrogance. It's total indifference to another human being. Princess Michael of Kent. Princess Michael of Kent became known as the Pushy Princess after insisting that Thorn EMI, a record company, send her 10 color television sets for her servants' quarters before she'd attend a cocktail party. The TV sets arrived, and so did the Princess for hire. Okay, I know that is demanding, but isn't it nice that she was being demanding on behalf of her servants? That's actually quite, I know it's probably not nice, but it's kind of nice in a way that she was doing something for them. She's like, you want me? Give me 10 television sets. And then she gives them to her staff. I don't know. I'd be like, if I was her staff, I'd be like, yay, go, ma'am. Okay, I gotta move this over. There's a note. The Queen and Prince Philip refer to the 6-foot blonde princess as our Val because of her strong resemblance to the Valkyries, warrior maidens of German myth. Aw, that's kind of cute. She showed a basic understanding for the commerce of royal patronage. Walking by Mazafrarian jewelers on Beauchamp Place in London, she spotted a decorative ivory bear in the window. It cost $1,000, said the owner's daughter, and she wanted it. So my father said, wrap it up for her. The princess walked out with the fanciful object, and her personal secretary sent a thank you note, which the owner then displayed in a gold frame. You know what? That was probably worth more than $1,000 to him, because people are going to come in and see, like, oh, smart. The British royal family appears. I feel like I missed a note. Okay, hold on. The British royal family appears eccentrically. I don't know if it's a good day for reading, guys. I'm struggling. Eccentrically tight-fisted to the people who serve them. Prince Charles doesn't like to spend money. Okay, there's a second part of the note that I missed. When asked by a magazine what he would give his worst enemy for Christmas, Viscount Linley, son of Lord Snowdon and Princess Margaret, quipped, Dinner with Princess Michael. Okay. Prince Charles doesn't like to spend money, said his former valet, Stephen Barry, and he moans about the price of everything. We have that book. It's back here somewhere. Like his mother, Charles counts the chickens in the freezer at each one of his palaces and insists that leftovers be warmed and served night after night, according to one of his secretaries, until there is no food left. He cannot abide waste. Well, I think that's good. He also squeezes his toothpaste with a sterling silver implement called a mangle so he can get the last drop. Then he insists the tubes be recycled. All the Windsors are mean as cat's piss. Okay, and this is also a reminder to those of us in North America, specifically, who are maybe a little bit of a younger generation, because mean doesn't mean difficult to get along with or unkind. Mean can also mean frugal. So, guys, I think we've read 2 pages. I don't even know if we've read that much. I'm sorry. Okay. Mean as cat's piss said, okay, also, this whole time, I've been saying Barat, John Barat. I think it's John Barrett. I don't know. Said John, we'll just keep on calling him Barat. Said John Barat, all of them, from the Queen on down, and she's the leader of the miserly lot. They pay little to staff because they think it's an honor for us to serve them. They give us miserable presents, and then only at Christmas. The Queen once gave her laundress a bag of clothespins, which was her idea of a practical gift. She gave her seamstress a heavy horseshoe magnet to pick up the pins she dropped on the floor during fittings. Her Majesty does better for her friends, of course, especially if they're famous. She gave Noel Coward a solid gold crown-encrusted cigarette case for his 70th birthday, a bizarre present from someone who professes to hate smoking but lavish. There's a note. In 1994, the Queen's footman was paid $12,000 a year plus a 2-room apartment. But, I mean, no, I guess. I don't know, because I'm like, well, let's think about it. If you are getting $12,000 a year in 1994, let's do, of course, it's not dollars, it'd be in pounds, but I'm going to pause this. I'm going to look it up. Okay, so in 1994, $12,000 had the buying power of about $26,232 today. So if I was making today $26,000 and I didn't have to pay rent and I didn't have to supply my own meals, that's $26,000 free and clear. That sounds fine to me. All right. Moving on. The usual present from the Queen is a photograph of herself, or one of her with the Duke of Edinburgh in a sterling silver frame with the royal crest. When it comes to those who serve them, Princess Margaret gives the same kind of frightful presents as the Queen. Margaret gave one of her elderly ladies-in-waiting a lavatory brush because the poor dear didn't have one in her loo when she visited. I mean, I'm someone who's, I'm easily pleased with presents. There's not one thing that you could get me that I'd be like, that. Like, one time I was helping my boyfriend move apartments, and dandelions are my favorite flowers. I could go on and on about that, but I won't. But I really want to, but I won't. Okay. So anyway, it was like in the spring of the year, I think. And there was a dandelion growing beside the path, and he just like plucked it for me. And then he like hid it behind his back. And then when I was going into the apartment and he was holding the door for me, he like extended it to me. Aw. Anyway, and I dried it and I have this little like glass locket and I put the dandelion inside the glass locket. So that's a long kind of pointless story to tell you that I'm like pleased with anything. Like I just love any sort of thoughtfulness. So to me, if she visits someone and she sees they don't have a toilet brush, and I mean they're naive in a way. You know what I mean? Because like they don't live in the real world, right? It's terribly fabricated. And so they just probably don't have the same sort of social understandings as we do. It's everything's relative, right? But I think if someone comes to your home and they see what they perceive as like, oh, you're missing something, and then they try to fill that need, I don't think that's a bad gift. I don't think it's a bad gift to wrap up a horseshoe that you can like pick up pins, especially if Elizabeth's experience with her dressmaker is that she's dropping pins during fittings and then Elizabeth witnesses her like picking them up after. I think it's actually quite thoughtful. I think a lot of times people mix mix how am I trying to say this? They mistake practicality for lack of thoughtfulness. Because I think we live in such like a commercial society that people expect a big gesture. And I think that practicality is a great gesture because it shows that people are watching, people are observing you. They're seeing, you know, your movements and they're trying to fill a need within those movements. And I personally think that's a beautiful thing. But I'm a softie, so what do I know? The princess spent weeks before Christmas choosing appropriate gifts for her family, her friends, and her staff, and wrapped each present personally. She selects sensibly, but has been known to splurge for special employees. One year, she gave her detective a video compact disc player. Is that a DVD? And her chauffeur 2 shirts from Turnbull and Asser. That same year, her butler, who had been hired only a few weeks before, received a less extravagant gift. It was a very nice silk tie from Simpson's, he said. The princess explained that I would have received a little something more had I been with her longer. I don't know. That doesn't offend me one little bit. You don't even know the person yet. What are you supposed to do? You know, roll out the red carpet? A silk tie is a nice gift. And it's timeless, you know? That's something he could have forever, you know, and his son could have it someday. The queen gives the spare minimum, recalled Barat. Blow heaters, bath mats, a shovel. She would ring up and ask what Lord Mountbatten would like. I'd tell her that he needed new spurs, so she'd give him spurs. Like, I'm really struggling to understand the criticism. Okay, so for example, oh, maybe I should just give up reading and just talk to you today because I just yapping in a yappy mood. So for example, last Christmas, my uncle's not his girlfriend. No, okay, so my uncle texted me and said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Like, I'm not really a big I don't really care about gifts. Like, I can't think of a thing I need. Like, I don't need anything." So he's like, "Oh, come on, like you must be able to think of something." So I was like, "Okay, well, let me go online and have a little peek." I said, "Well, let me go and see like what's in my cart on Amazon. Like I must have something in there." So I went and looked and I had in my Amazon cart neat like turntable. It's like not just the needle, but it's like the cartridges. Yeah, so like the cartridge and the needle to replace for my I have 3 turntables. Eek. So there's like one in my bedroom, there's one in the living room, and there's one in one of my kids' rooms. So I was like, actually, yeah, like I do need new cartridges. And I sent the link, and then there was a nice hair mask that I wanted to try. And so I sent that. And now altogether, it would have come to $20. Or maybe it was a little less than $20. But when I got there, they gave me a gift card to a department store because his girlfriend said you can't get whatever that stuff was. You can't have that for Christmas. Those aren't Christmas presents. And I was like, well, they're Christmas presents to me. Like, I was really excited to get turntable cartridges because it's something that I really use and would enjoy. Anyway, what I ended up getting with my gift card was this really nice pot that you cook on the stove, but it looks like a pitcher, but it's like a stainless steel pot, and it has like a spout because my partner and I, we always drink Mexican hot chocolate, but don't tell him it's Mexican hot chocolate because I never tell him. I just tell him it's special hot chocolate, and then he's like, but what kind is it? And I say, you can't know, because if you ever leave me, you don't get to take this with you. Anyway, so I got like a really nice pot that I can make that in. Yeah. All right. Good. My whole point being, I think it's lovely that she'd call up and be like, what does he need? And he's like, it needs new spurs. And she's like, perfect. I got it. So you don't have to think about that anymore. But they're really treating it as though it's like a really negative thing. Let's just finish this paragraph, and then I think we're done because I guess I'm just feeling in a happy mood. I don't know why. I was at work and I had such a nice day at work, and my boss and his wife, they work, like my boss and his wife work in the same office. And so we like all hung out in my boss's office, and we went and got a coffee together at the cafeteria, and we just had such a nice time, and we laughed so hard. And I'm just feeling happy. And then I had a nice talk with my mom. And that's it. Okay. So she would hang up and give him spurs. Okay. It's a very useful way of giving a present, although it lacks spontaneity. But then spontaneity would be out of character for the royal family, where everything is programmed. I just don't think it's fair to turn this into something negative, personally. The queen seemed hard-working to her subjects, who appreciated her frugality. They took comfort in her conscientiousness as she recycled her wardrobe and passed her cast-offs to her sister and her daughter. They nodded approvingly when one of her corgis killed a rabbit at Balmoral, and she carefully presented the bloody animal to her chef. We can... Timmy, plug your ears. Oh dear. Trigger warning, Timothy. We can eat this, she said. They saluted her practicality when she gave each of her staff at Sandringham a pot of chrysanthemums for Christmas with the instruction, give the pot back to the gardener when the plant dies. They approved of the memo she wrote to the head of the household to change the 40-watt light bulb in her bedside lamp to one of 60 watts, but not until this one is finished. They liked her small efforts to conserve, especially during the droughts of the 1970s, when she alerted her households to save water. Signs promptly went up in the lavatories of Buckingham Palace, don't pull for a pee. What's that? There's another saying, if it's yellow, let it mellow. Okay, well, we'll stop there. Well, it's been almost an hour of We got through 4.5 pages in an hour. Not an hour, but 45 minutes. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. I don't even know if I should make this an episode. I guess so. It's 5 pages. All right. Well, I can't think of anything else to tell you, except that if you have any ideas for a Christmas dessert, let me know. I was thinking like there's like eggnog cake, there's eggnog pie. I'm trying to think of what I usually make. Oh, you want to know something that I do make? Now, this is very, very easy. So I make this thing called Bready Bears. Okay? The kids go bananas. It's just a biscuit mix. And now I don't know where in the world you are, but I mean biscuits in a North American sense. So you would need to look up like a southern biscuit recipe. So it's like a bread. It's like a bread. It's dense. Oh, it's almost like a scone or a scone, wherever you're from, whatever you call it. It's sort of like that. It's not sweet. And you serve it with bread, like you serve it with butter, pardon me, and it's like on the side of any meal, really. Okay, so you make a biscuit mix, but instead of water, you put in orange juice. And if you know what Tang is, one year I didn't have any orange juice, so I just used a Tang. I just mixed up Tang, and that was so good. Oh my gosh, because it's like a little sweeter, right? So then you like get your hands like floury, and you mold them, like you put them on your baking sheet in the shape of bears. So you do like these little ears, and you have to like use a little bit of water like to make them stick. So like you make the little, and like you make like a little snoot. So you do like the head, the ears, a little snoot, and you can do like arms and like the body and the legs. And then when they're done, you also make like a mixture of the orange juice and powdered sugar or icing sugar, and you make like a little glaze, and you put that over them when they're still hot. And then you let them cool. And then you take like a little licorice string, and you make like a little bow tie around their necks, and then you can like use other little candies for like eyes and a nose. Let me tell you, the children love it so much that I even make them and send them over to my ex-husband and his wife, and because they have children together, for their kids too, because like all the kids are obsessed with these Bready Bears. So that's one thing that I make every year. And yeah. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'm so happy that you joined me, and I'm sorry that we didn't get a lot of reading done today. I was highly distractible, and I guess I'm gonna go do some cleaning, and I'm gonna make my man some white chocolate chip cookies for his birthday. All right, I will see you very soon. Oh, and that reminds me, maybe later on tonight I will come back on and I'll read a chapter of The Little Princesses, because we haven't gotten to chapter 3 yet, so that needs to happen. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you soon. Bye.